Peter, welcome.
Hi guys.
We're so excited to see the new persona. I definitely posted a sneak peek yesterday for everyone, all of our top testers and for the community to get everyone amped up. But I think we're super excited for you to come on, kick off this playtest, let us know the details of what's happening, and also just walk us through what you've been working on, Peter.
I'm horrified to see that people use blood in the chat. That's awful. Truly awful. We need to remember how Hive City was built. I mean, I think that's the most important thing, and be respectful. Um, geez. Okay. Well, uh, I don't know. What do you want to know? So I was actually looking. It's been about a year since we launched Persona. It was around Halloween last year, so this is good
It
timing.
was. Yeah, it's the
What?
exact year anniversary.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, I think a good place to start is just like let's chat about this upcoming playtest. So yeah, yesterday I kind of shared with the community, with our top testers here that we're hoping to do like a week long worth of playtesting with them to kind of show off the next kind of like iteration of Persona. So maybe to kick off, do you want to just kind of like share like what are your kind of like goals for this playtest? What's the kind of like rollout plan for this? And then I'd love again for you to just kind of like show us and walk us through some of the changes to the experience since the last time we all kind of played and tested together.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Cool. Well, why don't I pull up? I'll pull up this. Uh, Let me just turn this on real quick. I'm mumbling. Can you hear me now, Kat? Barely. Jesus. Okay. I could yell. Let me switch mics. Hold on.
Okay.
How about this?
Ooh,
Better?
yeah,
Okay.
that is much better.
Okay, cool. All right. I have like a good mic, but it's sitting in the corner. Um, all right. Let's see. I was in the middle of trying to share my screen. Does that show or not? I
It's
feel like
not
it's not.
showing.
No.
Discord changed the UI a little bit for screen sharing and it's kind of confusing. So
Uh, okay. I keep asking. I feel like the Mac has some complaints for me right now, but I'm not getting a
Oh,
notice to. I'm not getting a notice to approve anything. Let's see. Um, do you want to share at the beta URL, Ivy, and I'll talk about it.
sure, if you let me know where to click through.
Yeah. I'll text it to you since, well, it'll be obvious coming up. It's just at beta.persona collective. And you
Yep.
can,
Yep. Pulling it up now.
let's
One
see, what's
second.
this claims I'm streaming, but then it's not.
I usually do screens instead of applications. It seems like weird, but yeah.
Yeah, if it works for you.
Yeah, I
Cool.
guess
Okay.
if you guys want to kind of poke around, do you mind if folks poke around on the site along with us? I'll post the link to the new beta site as kind of like a
Let me,
first.
yeah, so it's fine to load up, but if you guys can hold off for a second, because I got a
Okay.
bunch of caveats in this and that. So in particular, like hmm, we should be seeing a blood bank update on your screen, and we're not, for instance. But maybe you've got to switch chains or something. It would be truly great if I could share mine.
I'm
Like
also
I'm gonna.
not connected, so let me connect first and see
Oh,
if
there
it
we. I
picks up.
finally got the. I finally got what I need.
Oh, you got it? Here, I
Maybe.
can unshare.
Maybe
Okay.
this is like. Uh, so you think I should share a screen, and I'll share screen one.
Yeah, usually
Uh,
screen works better. Hmm.
okay, there. Share your screen. It's so it like tries and then it doesn't succeed.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll
you may need
try.
to. When's the last time you updated your Discord?
Well, just when I logged in this morning, I downloaded a bunch of
Oh,
updates.
weird.
Yeah, I will hop out of Discord. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. This is fun. Um, I guess while Peter's gone, I'll kind of like share with you what I do know about how we're going to be running this playtest. I'm going to be kind of compiling this all into a post right after this AMA, just to kind of help kick people off. But basically, we're going to launch the playtest today. At, just right directly after this AMA. The testing window is going to be a week long. So basically from October 16th through 23rd. Again, it's with top testers only. Peter wanted to do, with just this small group. He'll get into, kind of goals for the playtest and all of the sort of like different CTAs for folks that are getting involved. But basically, yeah, it's going to be a week long, and the idea is that we want to be testing this thing for the next week, getting all your guys' awesome feedback on everything from the new UX and kind of features that Peter's built into the game, to the game design, to the pricing, all of that stuff. And then the goal is actually to launch a new mainnet version of the Persona experience, kind of like alongside the L1 token listing and the kickstarting of the L1 economy that I know we have not shared an exact date for quite yet, but is coming up incredibly fast. So this is just us kind of making sure we really want to make sure that there's, a fun experience and kind of thing to do on the Lamina One chain other than just kind of like creating content or staking. And so, Peter kindly volunteered as tribute to get Persona up and running and kind of bring it back for that launch. So yeah, we're super excited about that.
Um,
Um,
I am unfortunately, I just can't share. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what the
okay.
deal is. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, if you pull it up and start at the homepage, we can talk it through. Thank you. Everything Ivy said is true, and I affirm it.
Okay.
So, um, cool. So I want to talk a little bit about like, yeah, why don't you connect in, Ivy, and we'll see some things here.
Signing into my MetaMask. 1 second.
Now we're running beta on, so a couple things to say first of all. Jackal Girl, it's beta.personacollective.ai. I think if you go to Ivy in MetaMask and click that top left button where it says Pete, that's not where we should be, and that's my first bug. So go down, it should say go to Spaces. Do you have a Spaces link?
Spaces testnet.
That's the ID.
That's the ID subnet. Space
There,
testnet.
click that. That's where you
Okay.
want to be.
All right.
And now pull up the address you used for Persona. Do you have that address
This one
in your
here.
MetaMask?
OX925. Yeah. Hold on. Do you need me to copy that for you?
No, no, no.
No,
Just
we're
you
good.
should have some L1 here. So I'm like, we've, so okay, so that's the one. So then go ahead and auth if that's the one that
Yeah, let me make sure. Oh, here's my
that's the one.
master
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
So you make sure that's connected. So you got to click connect. That just tells MetaMask like it's okay to talk to the site. Okay,
Cool.
and then if you go back in the interface, and then you click that purple auth button. So it's me. So we're doing a bunch of kind of experimental stuff. And if your MetaMask has popped up and asked you to sign a message, which Ivy is not screen sharing right now, and that message is oh, there we go. So just don't click that yet. I want to explain this. So there
Okay.
is a concept. We're like deep diving in, but we'll get back big picture in a second. Sign in with Ethereum is sort of like it's been around for a few years. The idea here is like, why take an email? Why take a phone number? Why not just let people's authentication be their ETH address? And so that's what this is. And we basically like, when you go through the site, we assume you are who you say you are with your address. This is not very secure. Like anybody could fake up a message to a server being like, I'm this address or that address. So when we're gating stuff on the server side that's not necessarily for the blockchain, but that we're going to store, we need to know your auth. And so this is kind of the first thing that you should do when you come back in. Go ahead, now you can click confirm now. And this, all that does is just send a message. So if you, yeah, now go to your collective at this point, and then you'll see that
All
off
right.
button. Yeah.
I think I've only got
Okay.
2. Yeah.
So there, actually go to registry for a second. I want to just like demo some features. One of the things I want to do is just give everybody the ability to like see what's out there. And so this is like a much better interface for those of you who use the old one. And those of you who didn't do anything with Persona, the concept is that these are personas, these are NFTs, and that they all live and exist in Hive City. And we have these different tribes and so on. And so Ivy, like if you like, there's a lot people want to do just some like sorting, searching, all of this stuff. And I think this interface hopefully is going to be a lot better. So like if you click like profession, for instance, then you'll see and if you scroll down, we can now like really easily see.
Pilots. Cool.
Yeah. And that's not the only way. Like if you like go on the filter and just typed in like, BIS or something like that, we'd see only things that match Archbishop, so there's a lot of like, I've added like a lot of facilities for searching here. And so that's one big difference. The main things, so I want to give everybody stuff to do with their personas, and there's like some traditional NFT things that we can do, but like if I think about what's compelling about Persona, really conceptually what I want to do is create a space for collaborative storytelling, collaborative sort of interaction. And so like I've tried to lay out like a first set of ways we can do that. This is fairly experimental. The main thing to say during the playtest is all of this will be reverted for mainnet, like every bit of it. So I'm going to ask you guys to buy them, sell them, journal, all this, but we're going to like literally wipe every single thing about that out for mainnet. And so I want you guys to get in and play and do this stuff. And a very practical way we've done that is we have 2 different markets that I've turned on. We've turned on one now, and we'll turn on one a little bit later. Please buy and sell, and without fear, they'll come back. And anybody who owned a Persona got 1,000 L1. If you're in top testers and you wanted to do this with us and you don't have a Persona, there's a form that Ivy has. Fill it out, and we'll send you 1,000 testnet L1 and spaces testnet L1, and then you can get in and try and buy something from somebody who's willing to let it slip out of their fingers. So if you go to others, this is kind of what Killen was showing. We left a lot very obscure in the original. Like what is purification? What is infusion? We have, how does the blood bank work? Like, what is the blood bank? Like, what are we doing when we're doing this? And some questions will have been answered as you click around and play. Some will not, and that's just kind of life. But we are trying to like surface up all these different ways for people to see what's going on is the first thing to say. So like why don't we go Killen's online. So Ivy, why don't you find one of Killen's that you like, and if you want you can click Killen's name and then you'll get he's right there on the top second one. Yeah.
Oh duh. Sorry about that.
You can click his name and see everything he's got.
Amazing. Let's see, do you want me to choose one that's glowing and great, or do you want me to just choose one more general? All right, I'm choosing her.
Okay. So what do we got here? We can see that this persona went for very little. So total infusion and last infusion. And those of you who didn't play the first game, we essentially had something called it's a penny auction. Essentially, was how these were bought and sold. And it was one of the things I wanted to experiment with was like rather than have everybody sign up for a drop or have a free drop and then have a project try and make money on the back end with trade fees, I thought like, well, why not just like auction these off and see what we get? And so those of you who participated in that, some found it emotionally challenging, some loved it. Regardless, I think we could say it was a pretty compelling experience for everybody, one way or the other. And it was like a pretty interesting learning experience. So we had, basically the idea was 5 of these showed up, and anytime someone bid, if there was less than 60 seconds left on the auction, we set it to 60 seconds, and the next bid had to be a few percent more than the last bid. Now, when I say bid, it's not like a normal auction. You don't get it back. And that's kind of why we had this concept of infusion. You're like, the idea is we're infusing these personas until they can become real humans. And so we keep track of this, and infusion now is a level. So yeah, Kellen, there is, and I'll show you what to do there in a second. So infusion drives the level of your persona. So this one's like not very high level, and that's kind of perfect because let's have Ivy make a bid on it. So
All right.
now if when first, as soon as you go down, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm not set up for bidding. And so click that button.
All right.
One of the things I'm gonna want from testers is like, just to explain as you're building one of these experiences, there's basically like two ways to figure out what's going on the blockchain in a web app. You can ask your wallet provider to hit up a node on the chain and be like, what's this information? What's that information? This is like canonical, meaning like you'll always get up-to-date correct information, but it can be very slow. Nodes can be heavy and slow. And so the second way is to ask a server you trust, what's happening on the blockchain? There are downsides to both. Like I said, slow, bad experience if you don't have a wallet turned on the first, but accurate up to when it's up to date. You'll be up to date at that time. On the server side, you have to start tracking like a whole bunch more information, and so Persona Beta is sort of like in the terrible middle ground, which is we started mostly relying on nodes because it's faster and like it just is like kind of easier to code, and we're moving everything over to the server. So one thing I will ask you guys, sometimes as you go through this app, you'll see stuff doesn't update very quickly, or like you have to refresh the page to see it. And I'm going to ask you guys to just log that as a bug, like tell us what happened anywhere, and we'll just like try and track all those down. So the site's gotten sort of large enough that we know there are a few places, and I'll show you a few this morning. That the place to file those, Ivy, if you want to pull up GitHub, is github.com/Vesna/persona. And we can send this out to you guys.
There it is.
There it is. And you just file an issue right there.
Awesome.
And we will, we may or may not address any issues depending on what the Hive City authorities decide to do. Thank you. Okay, so to come on back. Now, first thing you do, one of the other things we've built, and I am going to launch this separately, and I'm hoping there are top testers here engaged with other NFT projects on the platform, because I would like particularly your feedback on some of the bidding mechanics. That I have built a decentralized NFT auction marketplace that can be hooked up to on any front end. Now, when you make one of those, you've got a couple decisions to make. The first is, do you need bids to be fully funded forever while they're open? Or are you like willing to have people bid on multiple stuff and thereby kind of like expand the size of the market? And my answer to that is, yeah, let's have multiple stuff being bid on. What that means is we can't have you bid with now, and I'll talk about ETH and WETH here in a second. We will change all this to L1 and WL1 and so on for main launch, but I've built a lot of this with automated coding tools, and they get confused talking about Lamina versus ETH. So everything's ETH in this interface, and for mainnet launch in a week or two, it'll all get switched over. So do you basically, like, if you want some programmability and you want people to be able to like engage in the market more broadly, then we have to wrap this token in something and turn it into an ERC20. And on the mainnet, I think Will and Co will have published this WL1 contract. In this case, we've got our own. So the very first thing you have to do is like wrap your ETH. Now, if you guys haven't done this before, you're not familiar with it, you can go ahead and do this, Ivy, while we're talking.
All right.
And go wrap like, I don't know, 500.
Okay.
This is a super simple, super safe procedure. Is that?
Hold on.
There we go.
I
Oh, you
gotta
got
pull up
two of them.
MetaMask. I'm doing the
Probably don't want
classic.
to. Just confirm one.
Okay. Let's confirm one. Don't spend all your money, Casey.
Yeah. Okay, and then here, like we see in the interface, okay, like it's updated. So Ivy's now got 500 WETH. And Thank you, Toon, for saying what I said slowly and weirdly, very accurately. This will all be L1. Just replace ETH with L1 in your mind. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing you have to do is like tell the NFT order book, like, it's okay to spend money on my behalf. And this is one of the many programmability things we need to do the market. So just click approve here, and you don't have to put a
Yeah,
number in.
cool.
And then
Pull up my
stay right
MetaMask
there.
again.
Yep,
Let it do
that's
that.
fine. Max. Oh my
Approve.
God, Max.
Bum bum
Okay.
bum.
So now Ivy can bid. So
Okay.
let's go back to pick one of Killen's because he's here and he's gonna sell one off.
All right, so we'll go back to the others tab. We'll go to Killen. We'll
Yeah.
pick her.
I don't think he's
We'll
gonna
sell
sell you that
her.
one.
All right, we'll
Killen,
go back to
give us a
her.
number of one you'll sell.
Yeah. What's which one are you willing to sell, Killen? Who should I choose? 89 personas. My God. Take
Oh,
your
there
pick,
we go. Oh
girls.
wow,
All right.
he'll give you anything.
All right. All right, we're gonna choose our neo-Victorian crime lord then.
30.
They're
Actually,
straight.
do you know what? Buy one with a lot of infusion, actually. Uh, so go back to
Can I
Killen and
sort
sort
by
by infusion.
infusion?
And
Yeah.
click infusion. Yep, you had it right there. Oh no, you were on him.
Oh,
Okay, and
all
then click
right.
at the other. Click it again. We'll sort. That's negative.
Ooh, so yeah,
Okay. So this ranger, this will be good because this will help us.
perfect.
Um, so wow, what an auction. I had no
Yeah.
idea elves were worth so much in Hive City. Uh, so go ahead and let's make a bid. So bid whatever you want there.
Let's see. We'll do 100 for now.
Live in large, okay.
Live in large.
And then you see it up top. Yeah.
Yep.
And um, okay. And then let's go back. So now Helen, don't accept this yet, but we're gonna talk about a couple things here. Here's a list of bids. And again, this is information for more broadly for other NFT projects working this platform. We keep an order book on the chain. It's actually not that gas expensive. I went to a lot of effort to make it like pretty efficient. The um, you must set an expiration date for your bids when you do it. I have in this interface just hard coded everything at 7 days. So at the end of 7 days, these bids will be invalid.
Mm.
This is one of the things I think is for you guys. I would love to hear your feedback for those of you who are running projects. Like, what do you want? What do you not want? Um, okay, so now before you do anything else, click market up top. So these are all the personas that have a bid or an ask right now. And I put in an ask on number 40 ahead of the call, and then we've got this. So Killen, however you want, if let's go. I'm going to have Ivy demonstrate how to make an ask, and then you guys can start putting some asks up on your own stuff. So if you click, Ivy, if you go to your collective
Mm-hmm.
and pick one. Okay. So how do you, okay, so again, to bid, we have to give the order book the right to move our WETH around. To sell, we have to give the order book the right to move our NFT around. And so what you do is click approve this persona.
Go back
And
to the mask.
yeah,
Allow
and
access to
and this
bid.
is all sort of built into MetaMask, like even on our test chain, the nodes, they're slow. Um, all right, while we're waiting for that.
There we
Okay, cool,
go.
that's confirmed. Now to come back, this is a bug. It's a small UI bug. It should show her the form to ask, but it doesn't. So were we to be kind of looking for places where the chain's updated, but we needed a refresh to do something and we shouldn't, this is one of them. So go ahead and click refresh the page here. Okay. And now we see that Ivy can place an ask here.
Where do I see that?
Right
Oh,
there.
here we go.
Place an ask. Yeah.
Perfect.
We've got another small UI bug here. WETH contract approved. It is, but we got that information in a funny way. So there's another one. There's like I said, there's probably 15 or 20 of these around the site. Okay, so ask what you want for this.
All right. I'll do another 100. If I'm gonna offer, I'll also ask.
Okay,
Accept this.
cool. All right. So now, and that one like popped up in the way that I want it to in the UI. You can see it like, by the way, our server saw it, even though your MetaMask hasn't. So it showed up on the chain, and your local, you're just a little slow getting turned out. Okay, cool. So now, were anyone to place a bid over that ask or at that ask, this server will match it right at that ask. So why don't we, so Jackal Girl, yeah, we'll talk about Infusion. Infusion is a record of all of the L1 that is passed through a persona. And we may end up doing other things for Infusion because it is the leveling system. So awesome. Okay. So Kellen's doing cool shit. So we will continue to, and I'm going to now show you guys on the back end, we're going to gate a whole bunch of features on level. And so one of the things, as you may know, my game design perspective is not nice. It's more about being engaged and getting people to do what we want. And so like while we're waiting here, Kellen, for you to fulfill your, to fulfill that purchase, click manage here, Ivy up at the top. You will see this if you're logged in and auth for a persona that you have. So what rights? Yep, and Kellen's showing all this before he sends it off, and then we're going to demo it live, Kellen. So come on, just agree to the ask, agree to the bid. So you can always harvest. You can send to the VATs, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But the VATs are the new name for the old player versus player penny auction. So Vauban, we'll hit you up eventually. Those are not turned on right now, and they're gonna be turned on later. We have some UI stuff to do, and I do want us to have fun with them, and I'll explain how we're going to do them a little bit differently. But for now, if you send them to the VATs, you will not see them for a little while. So on the right here, you can see all these level gated features. So like, do you want to name your persona? They need to be level 3. Do you want to write journal entries? They need to be level 5. Do you want to choose a representation for them? Something some people are excited about, some people aren't, but I think you'll be excited about it as we talk about it more. Fine. So these are, just to put out, these are like concepts. And one of the things I do want feedback for, and I may or may not listen, and I may or may not take your request in the way that you intended it, is Kellen, I'll tell you that in a second. So is like, what are these levels that we're going to do, and how do we want to gate up, and what is the economy we're kind of looking for here, is all stuff I'm thinking about really actively. And so I just want us to play around, talk about it, figure out like what we think will be most compelling, where we should do stuff. And we will keep, adding new concepts to different levels. Like for instance, a very high level thing I think would be getting to opt out of the licensing for the collective, so you could like enforce your own licensing for a persona. So I'm kind of thinking about both the economy and the engagement and stuff like that. So Kellen, on your side, and Ivy, we can go look at this. Go to the market, and then go to the one you bid on, 939. Kellen, where Ivy sees this place bid, if you've approved this persona with a contract, that's the first thing you do, kind of like Ivy just did for hers. You'll then just have a chance to make an ask if you refresh the page, and then you should just make an ask for 100 if you're willing to sell it for 100. While we're waiting for that, Erasmus, if you bid, does the wrapped L1 get held in escrow? No. So this is a key point. It is not held in escrow. What we do is, if you ever, so we may have bids that can't be fulfilled because someone may have bid 1,000. Now we don't let you bid 1,000 unless you have 1,000 and have approved 1,000 for transfer. But you may do that and then get rid of it. What will happen in that case is your bid will get wiped out. And the system, like the next time someone interacts with bids on this persona, it'll go to your bid and they'll be like, you can't afford that anymore. You're gone. We kicked you out. So this is one of the trade-offs we made. In exchange, we get the ability to bid on a lot of stuff, and like whatever one hits, you get, and that's great. In that moment, the other bids will go away, and so it won't kind of like pollute the system. But it was just a decision we made that we'd rather see more market possible activity. And we leave you with your wrapped ETH or wrapped L1, no matter how much you're bidding until it's spent. It's all sticks with you guys. You just given kind of like approval essentially. So Killen, are you, if you, and maybe he did it, I don't know. And again, this might be, yeah, that's right, Jackal Girl. So, okay, let's see here. This is what Killen sent us. That is strange. Try refreshing that page, Killen. I feel like we should see the ability to make an ask. And you don't need to wrap anything. It could be the UI is in like a funky state. No, you shouldn't have to clear the cache. Okay, I'll tell you what. Can you? And you're off. That's good. Why don't you go to your second highest persona and make an ask, and we'll see if we can get it that way. Let's see. I'll find what Killen's 179. Actually, no, I can do this. I can do this too on my side if we're having trouble. Let me try it on my side while we're waiting here. I have a high infusion elf too, although not as high as the wealthy of Hive City. But she's really kind of cute though, so I'm gonna feel sad. But she gets a new collector. Okay, so I'm gonna approve this persona for trade, and I think I've done that, and I'm gonna ask 100, and okay. Ivy, why don't you go to the market?
Market, yep.
And you should see one more there. I thought I
Yeah, let me refresh.
Yeah, give that a.
There we go.
There we go. So go ahead and place a bid for 100. Now you're gonna have see. Now we've got another UI bug. Go back to scroll down a little bit, and click Get Set Up for Bidding one more time, and click Approve Web Spending. This is a server bug that'll get fixed like imminently. Click that. Just click the Approve Web Spending button again, and then fill out the.
Oh wait, yeah, duh.
Yeah, you can do it twice. It's okay. And now go back. And now you can make a bid. So now make a bid for 100. And for those of you who are asking, like, what's a bid, what's an ask? So these are just market terms. An ask is from an owner how much they want. Yeah, and go ahead and click it. Yeah. Okay, now actually the page knows this has changed. And again, we haven't like rendered everything we should, but you should, this is now yours, I think it should be. So if you go, just refresh this page. Okay, this is yours.
There we go.
Yeah, and you can see, interesting. Okay, we've got a couple things to sort out in the UI. These bids and asks. That ask is also gone, but okay. So there's lots to do there. Click Manage now is the main plan here. Okay, so I was talking earlier about level gated features, and you can see that this persona on the right has got a bunch of things that Ivy can do. There is no mystery action, by the way. do not spend that. So let's talk about what we can do here, and again, what will be a little confusing in the UI and so on. So naming hits the chain. So go ahead and click name. Top left, name persona,
Oh,
1634.
sorry.
Okay, so the point of this is we will surely ban you and be gratefully displeased at a bad name. What's a bad name? Look, Hive City's like PG-13 to R, so I don't mind edgy names, and the Hive City authorities understand that it's a rough and tumble cyberpunk place. Hate speech is fully fucking gone. We will probably eventually hook this up to an LLM and solely rely on the LLM's results. But, and you guys are testers, we trust you guys. I'll say, just as a side note, the way instrumented the contract, if you, I think this is still in, if we have to rename a persona, if the admin does, we ban that address from participating in Hive City at all. So we're like, there's no like, oh, oops. We will be like, the full wrath of the Hive City will come down on people fucking with this. That said, we're going to experiment with putting this out permanently on the chain. And I think it'll be fun to do. And I think it's part of this collaborative storytelling. So pick a name, but you know.
We'll do philodendron.
Cool.
Just total G rated, guys. All right. Confirming. I'll go back and approve. Come on.
By the way, I think one of the reasons this part is slow is that Basis nodes aren't set up to subscribe to results of transactions. So this is kind of a technical thing, but it's like a little bit slower. Okay, cool.
There she
So
is.
now if you go back, Ivy, to your collective for a second. Philodendron. And this is everywhere across the site now. So go to registry. And I think if you type PH in the filter, yeah, there. So you could see like we commit to this name. And now go back and click manage. Yep, you can just click on her face.
Oh.
Yeah, any of those will work. And go scroll up and click manage. Now, let's say you have regrets about the name. Well, that's fine, provided they're like level, I don't know, 10 or 12 or something. If you go down, there's a rename persona. Yeah, 15. So again, like as a matter of managing the business of the project, we want to like have people commit to these things and so on. Okay, so all that said, that's how, yeah, no, exactly, Erasmus. Well, if they're level 15, you can do whatever you want. Go back up here on the top left. So, okay, so early on, you get the chance to modify their backstory. So go ahead and put in click edit backstory. These do not go on the chain. They are stored on our server. And wipe that out and write whatever you want.
All right. With a scrappy demeanor. I won't make you guys watch me write.
Yeah, you didn't know you'd be like writing narrative here this morning. Okay, cool.
Yeah, ready.
Yeah, so go ahead and save.
Save backstory.
Okay, cool. And we support Markdown in here. We're tried to be pretty careful about nasty shit on this. So cross-site scripting. This is an area, those of you who want to kind of poke at our system a little bit, please do. This is a good time to see like, can you get bad things written into this stuff? But I think we're pretty good on it. I want you to add a journal entry too. And yeah. Okay, great. Cool. Now go back to public view.
Public view.
And then scroll on down.
There we go.
Okay, I'm going to call it a couple things here. Jackal Girl was asking about infusion levels, all this stuff. Received an infusion of 2. What is that? Well, that was the fee the order book took for the auction. And that fee went into the blood bank, and we tracked that it's due to this persona. And so she was infused 2 more from that transaction. So as you guys are buying and selling these on the market, we will keep track again of how much money has kind of flowed through them or how valuable they are to the system in this way, and we log it in the journal. Yep, I like it, Ed. Give it a try. Drop table personas. That's really good. Little Johnny drop table. Um, so go back and let's add another journal entry. And then here, say like I had a fun day, I don't know, with at and pick a number.
What do you mean, like a
Type an at symbol and a number.
okay,
Sure, yeah.
cool.
And then submit that. And
Ooh.
then go to public view. And then scroll on down. And you see over on the right here, yeah.
Uh.
Oh, 450's dead. You liar. um, so I want to start building a little bit of a social network, and I know you guys have stories about these people and how they relate to each other and so on. And so yeah, at the least we'll have that, and we'll like this is an area again from you guys, like send in feature requests. Like we'll figure out like what feels most compelling, right? And what's going to like support the things that you want to do. So go back here. And then go back to the manage. Okay, so let's talk representations. So I like these. We all like the style a lot, and I'm going to talk about Gen 2 in a little bit. But in particular, we are going to be over time building out render pipelines that let you see your personas doing different things. And so we have a number of steps on the AI side to get there. One of the main ones is like getting a canonical facial representation of your persona that is their portrait. And one of the reasons that we want that is that a lot of AI is trained on just human faces. And so like you guys may have found as you've like poked around and tried to muck with these, and we saw something that Alchemist Group did, like some AI video stuff is good with what's called like out of band kind of, or like, you know, out of training set data and can figure out what the hell's going on. Some is not. Our neo-Victorians have all this like weird headgear, and it's very, very hard for AI to like make sense of it. And so over time, we're going to have like, there are going to be 3D models of these that we can go and put into other games. There's going to be all this stuff. And so you guys are eventually going to be like managing out and like how you want the persona to look to everybody else, kind of based on their history and stuff we've given, but also like the different ways that this collection as a whole is going to like interact with things. So we've like started to build this out in representations. And one of the first things I did was like, we've made 4K renderings of each original portrait. And I'm going to have Ivy walk through doing this right now. So click that. So now here's the thing. You need to buy the right to unlock. Now, you do not, like, again, it's everything's going to cost here. Well, transferring them around and playing with them and journaling and all that, if they've got infusion, is great. But in general, we will be charging. So let's buy some kind of like rights to unlock stuff. And why don't you just put 10, 10, and 10 in all of these right now? Now,
Okay.
another caveat here, you'll see that Gen 2, we'll talk about Gen 2 packs in a second, and pricing is still getting sorted.
UI bug.
Yeah, we'll get you. Okay, all right. So for this test, we have, and you can see right here from Stripe, test mode. This is test mode. Put in an email. If you want, anyone who puts in their actual email here, we will send you a coupon code for Gen 2 packs. And we will anyway, but we'll send you a better coupon code if you give me your email address. Stripe's test mode allows the card 4242424242 always to go through. So I granted all of you infinite Stripe money, and you can put anything you want in the expiration date and the
Okay.
CVC. It's just going to be in the future. Yeah. And you need a card or a name, yeah. And an address. Perfect. Oh, you were there. Yeah. Roseburg. It's beautiful there.
Valley Road.
You can do link or not. You either uncheck that, just uncheck it for now. The link is a Stripe thing. Okay, cool. Great. Click pay. Okay. Yes, your order has been processed.
Beautiful. Unlimited money, y'all.
Yeah, I'm really happy for you. Okay, go back to your collective. Actually, you can click there. Oh, you know what? This is me, arguably UI bug. Go down to the left. Work. There's like two ways to look at there's your stuff and your people. So go back to philodendron here, and go to manage. And now rather than purchase, you can see unlock
Mm,
4K painting, and we kind of
mhm.
get a little teaser. So go ahead and click that. Okay, now UI bug. Don't click it again. It
Gonna
worked.
smash it.
It worked. Go down a level. Go down one more here, and click that too. No, just once. Yep. Okay, now refresh the page. And click manage. Okay. So a couple things here. I know all of you whales want to see these pictures. I am showing, in most cases, the actual upres photo or the upres for the 4K. I rendered a preliminary, moderately shitty set of headshots, and we have a better set of ones that are going to go out later. So buy these, but they're not the real ones, and some of them are real freaky. Um, so so clicks. Let's click select this representation on the 4K shot here, Ivy.
All right.
Okay, and then refresh because again we're just not showing them properly, and click manage. Oh, okay, actually this is a good moment here. That page took a second to load. And the reason is this is a huge PNG file. This is a 30 megabyte file. And if you click it and then you zoom in a lot, you'll see that we've got and it'll be even easier to see downloaded, but you can see like we have like real brush strokes here. I mean, this is like, I think very, very good. I'm pretty excited about these. And when Ivy clicks select this representation, that is the form that all of the NFT platforms will now show, is this ultra high res version that goes
Mhm.
out. And you can click it again, and should shrink back into yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, so go to manage, and now go down one and choose that one. Okay, and then refresh. Okay, this is now, you're the collector. You've chosen how this persona will show up everywhere. So go to registry and type PHIL. Okay, so everywhere we're showing the persona, like you guys get to pick this. And I know, again, like I've heard mixed reviews. Y'all can keep your old ones. You can do what you want, but yeah, it will show up in the hub that way. It'll show up everywhere. So I'm pretty excited about this over time. I think that like as these characters get more story and we have more representations of them doing things, I really feel like it's going to be fun for you guys to sort of like collect and collate and so on. Now, open questions. Should other people be able to see other representations? This is right now, the answer is no. Tune put out like maybe you should, if you're trying to sell them, you should be able to, someone's buying should be able to see all the different representations. All this is stuff I'm curious for feedback on. Okay, go back up to the homepage and then just hover over the lady.
Good day. Blood Bank Arcolex
So
approved the direct purchase of
thanks, that's good
50,000
enough.
hivers with
So
foreign.
this is an example of like what we can do much more easily once we've got a representation that's in a visual form. That said, like there are real questions. Like, are elves elves? Are people wearing costumes in Hive City? Like, I think we should retcon like the idea that these photos are like costumes they wear out in the world or something. I don't know. We'll have to see. But let's just talk over all of that as we go. And I know that we're going to need these for some things that we're doing. So I wanted you guys to have access to them, and I want to charge for them. You want to talk Blood Bank or Gen 2?
Let's start with blood bank.
Okay, so on the right here, we can see a couple things. We are not going to be hiding the blood bank in this version for a bunch of reasons. It is still optional. Like, you don't have to participate in the blood bank to do persona stuff. but we are committing to the blood bank as the like economic, like Persona's economic engine, like how we will, engage economically with everyone in the project. So this number right here, 2.48 million, is roughly the number that was issued on BetaNet. And we are we have a few phases of the blood bank. Now, as you guys know, we expect there to be an immense amount of demand for unlocked L1 as trading starts, because the locking and yielding, and as you guys learned in the playtest, even in a case in the playtest, like massively limited the amount of cash people had to spend, and for better or worse. So even in that cash limited environment, we saw there was a lot of demand for L1. So like the original Persona was designed around the idea that like everybody had a lot of BetaNet L1 and nothing to do with it. And so the blood bank ended up filled with quite a bit of L1. We have worked with the foundation, and we're going to be able to fill the blood bank with some equivalents, and we'll talk about that as we get a little bit closer. But if we fill the blood bank with that right around the first few weeks of staking, what we'll find is that people are just going to just soak everything out of the blood bank, and we'll charge them for it. But I didn't want to do that, so we're going to have a period until L1 prices have stabilized on the public markets where the blood bank's running, but it's not going to be in its final state. And we will likely put in about 1,000 L1, and I'll talk about MUSD in a second. And we're going to let the blood bank run for a while. I will not be issuing any of you guys blood at that first moment at launch. So those of you who have blood from BetaNet, you will get it, but I'm going to explain, and we'll write down how this is going to work in case it's a little abstract. But what we will do is let the blood bank run. People will engage with it with a small amount of L1 at the beginning, and it will therefore be tracking whatever economic actions happening, native economic actions happening in Persona around launch. As L1 stabilize, we'll see probably a couple weeks in after trading for L1 starts on the public markets, I will put the blood bank in the second phase. And what we will do is we will take all the blood that's been issued up to that point, and then we're going to multiply that number by like 4.5. And what we're going to get is everyone will get the original number of blood that they had, but again, like multiplied up, so that the community will have 45% of all blood. All the BetaNet community will have 45% of all blood. The Persona Collective itself is going to get 45% of all blood, and that'll be kind of like the treasury for Persona. That equals 90%. Everybody who participated in Blood Bank during the early days of the mainnet launch, that will equal 10%. So it's like 45, 45, 10. At that moment, we will fill the blood bank with quite a bit of, we're still sort of sorting out with the foundation, and we'll see what's what, either LL1 or L1. It's possible to be unlocked. And at that point, the community will be off. We'll have kind of like a fair amount in the treasury, and we'll be ready to go. So all that said, go ahead and enter the blood bank.
All right.
And Ivy participated in BetaNet and has blood here. Now, to interact with the blood bank, you have to approve blood being moved around and MUSD moved around depending on what you want to do. What is MUSD? It is not a stable coin. It is like a record of refundable amounts to Persona Collective participants. So we will, as a full stable coin turns on the chain, hopefully be able to replace that with a full stable coin. How you get MUSD now, you don't actually. You cannot obtain it yourself except through the blood bank, but we will issue it based on some of these credit card transactions and put it into the blood bank. So the blood bank will fill with MUSD over time as people are transacting with their cards, and it'll just provide an economic record of what's what. And you'll be able to buy and sell. You can see here, you can buy blood with MUSD, you can buy blood with ETH, you can sell blood for MUSD, you can sell blood for ETH, and all this stuff is should be working. And please do feel free to play with this and see what's what. we're turning on transferring of MUSD into the bank. The server side just hasn't been written yet. And so that'll turn on sometime during our playtest, and you'll see those numbers going up. The intent here at the end, some of you did this. There are people who had like one persona. They just had enough to play the blood game, and then they fully went economic. And the intent for persona is that is still a thing that people can do. We took a fee for that, and like one of the goals here was like hodling the blood. We hoped would work out for people, and it did vis-a-vis L1 in the beta net. And it was just like we just charged a really large fee for people moving in and out, and we'll keep doing that. So I think the intent here is that the blood bank will continue to be a way to participate in Persona's economics and benefit from all the community members using it. And you can stay out of it if you don't want to. Cool. Let's go back to the homepage. Gen 2.
Gen 2.
And we can see, look, there's some market activity. Let's go. Mostly what
Nice.
stuff you've been doing. So we have a larger community than when we did the beta net. Like Ivy was saying, we want a lot to do on the chain. And I want to keep making cool stuff. And we need a way for people to get in that didn't participate in round one, right? So you guys are all whales, those of you who participated in round one. So what are we going to do? I'm going to issue 50,000 new Gen 2 personas. There will be a new tribe. I think we will be able to do poses, and I'm going to show a couple things in a second, or I was planning on it since I can't screen share. Maybe I won't, but we'll have poses, we'll have new expressions, and this is something I want to talk about in the community. We may or may not have a new visual style. I'm kind of like working through that right now. And one of the difficulties we have with the current system is getting this artistic style. It's turned out to be really hard with like more modern diffusion models. And there are some social reasons for that, but like the major models in the last year have stopped training on even classical art and are just training on like licensed digital art and photographs. And so like models like Flux, which are like really sophisticated and can lay stuff out really nicely, like just have no concept of painting. And so it means like our rendering pipelines are quite challenging. And the ones that have concepts of painting are not very good at like rendering more complex scenes. But that said, I do have a couple test renders to show you guys. So we will have, these numbers are just kind of for reference, but one of the things that we will have is, so you will buy them in packs. They will only be available for credit card purchase. They will not be purchasable with L1. And this is the way that like the actual business of Persona can make some money. So we can pay people to like do the UI design. It's not just me in my spare time. Packs will be packs of 5. We will, yeah, you can click there, and you already pre-bought some. It's nice work. And those will be randomly chosen. So you'll get 5 at a time when you buy them. I'm still figuring out pricing. We will it's really hard. Like NFT floor pricing is like, oh, well, paying $20 per is pretty good. In our world, maybe it's terrible. We will have an early set of packs that are cheap, and we'll kind of like test the market with it. But fundamentally, the main things to know are we've added this new rarity tier of unique. So in the new collection of 50,000, each tribe will have 10 totally unique characters that we only issue 1, and that'll be fun. And when you buy them, you'll basically have 3 options. So you'll have you can keep them, you can harvest them, which is controversial and not recommended, or you can send them to the VATs. And the VATs are the penny auction part of the site. Like that was the old way that you guys knew how to buy these. So the main thing to say about the VATs is A, we'll turn them on a little bit, but B, we're now tracking like who sent in the personas to the VATs. So when you send a persona into the VATs, they will be randomly chosen whenever they're pulled out of the hat and go, and people will start bidding on them, infusing them. when they're done with that, they'll come back out, and whoever the last infusion that won will be the person that gets the persona into their collection. All of the money that went into infusing them in that competitive market, half of it will go to the person who put them into the vats, and then the other half will go into the blood bank. And so what we did the first time was like we took that on the persona side basically, but in the new world, like you guys will have this other economy to participate in. Maybe you've got a really appealing persona. Erasmus, yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. So maybe you've got an appealing persona and you think it could auction off well. Maybe you just don't. You've got enough and you don't want it, and either of those could end up yielding a really good result for you. And those infusions will come back as straight L1. So as the economy gets off, like I anticipate there will be some real money changing hands on the VATS system. So Erasmus asks, like, can we use this for other NFT projects? Yes, it is set up to be used for other NFT projects. We and we will be putting out those tools, the VAT tools and the order book tools in like a non-persona UI form. It'll probably be a separate company. I'm kind of talking with Ding Han about it now, tentatively to be called Lent. And we have baked in the ability to have UI fees added on. So like the way those guys work in Web3 world is like, we're gonna build the smart contracts. We're gonna provide some frameworks that you guys can pull. And if somebody wants to publish their own market interface or whatever to it, they can add, like we'll have a right for them to take a little bit of the fee from the transaction. So we're like going to let you guys make your own business on top of this. I have not been sure if other NFT projects want access to something like the VATs. So if you do, great. I think we found during the launch of Persona that at times, like a huge amount of money can go through these, like in particular, like once we had naming turned on and when there was like interest in something, like it was really pretty great. There are some things I would say we learned that are hard, like in particular, getting enough people interested to come in at the right time was something that was challenging. And so I think there are things for NFT project coordinators to think about here. And I will want your feedback on it. I think one of the features I added to the VATs is like it'll only start when it's got a certain number, and you can also set a start time for them. So like I think this question of like how do we, it's better if a lot of people are doing it at once, except if you're a buyer, you want nobody doing it. So we had people waking up in the middle of the night and like finding time zones that like no one in Asia was up and like no one in Europe was up. And so you have this disincentive to get other people in if you're buying. And I think that's probably something that these NFT projects need to like think about is like, okay, we're going to like community announce them. We're going to do whatever we're doing with that. So we'll get to that a little bit later, but there's obviously plenty for you guys to poke around with and fuck around with right now. And we will give this a shot. I don't have the UI up in shape to do this right now. I'll say too, like, it was extremely hard on the servers. I mean, like we jammed the beta net. And so we'll see how that is on a live chain. Like, I don't mind. And actually it's good for the foundation to say like transaction volumes are really high. So Killen, there are no hacks are not issued yet. So you can buy them for free with your infinite credit card, but it won't get you anything in this current system. So
yeah, I pre-bought some, but they're not showing up anywhere.
Yeah,
right?
they will if you go to your collective and your vault.
Okay.
You'll see that you've got Gen 2 Hyperpack pre-buy here, but this we're not doing anything related to that here. It's for the future system. I think is that all? Oh, one thing you guys may appreciate, go to About and go to FAQ.
Yes.
Okay, so this is like we did get quite a lot done here. Still working on getting our LLM to get exactly the right tone, but it's not terribly bad. So so you guys, you can read some shit, and please send in bug report suggestions, thoughts in the FAQ. I want nothing more than to never worry about writing an FAQ. So Anybody wants to volunteer to make it better, please just send in the issues and we'll happily have them. You can see, like, I think the LLM's a little snarky here, probably a little too snarky, but we are trying to. The ways that Hive City is like compelling and creepy are a little bit hard for LLMs to do. They're not like good at implying rather than just saying. So anyway, all that's there. We do have some terms and conditions, and I'll just what we yeah, you can go. I want to draw your attention first of all to term number 6. The upsetting Oscar is a big problem. It's literally it's a contract, so don't make Oscar mad. The other thing to say is that, like, Persona Collective has a corporation attached to it now, the U.S. corporation that owns the IP rights to these and will continue to own them. And so, like, again, like we told you guys during beta, we issued the very initial images under CC0, and they were yours to do what you want with. These are not licensed that way. We are basically intending to put all of the commercial benefits of this through to the blood bank. And as your personas level up enough to give you the right to opt your persona out and do your own licensing for them is kind of the like sketch of the plan. Okay, that is my whole speech. Go forth and fuck around with the system. And I saw some bug reports coming in, and please do file them in the GitHub, and then we'll kind of chip away at them.
Yeah, totally. So I guess, like, as like a recap, in terms of just like holding. So basically, to connect in, you're going to go to the Beta Persona Collective AI site. You're going to want to sign in with your MetaMask wallet. If you played before, definitely sign in with the same wallet that you used in the beta test. If that's the case, you'll have 1,000 testnet L1. And if not, we'll be distributing a form that you can basically just like hit Peter up, send him your address, and he'll populate your account with that. So everyone will get their personas from Gen 0, and blood holdings, just to confirm, Peter, those will be the same as what you had in beta also for the initial test, correct?
So, like,
so everyone will have
so
the
to
same
be
blood.
clear, that will precisely determine. So everybody who had blood in beta had a certain percent of total blood. You guys will all get your full percentage of 45% of total blood a few weeks after a persona is launched. So you will still have all those ratios. Those of you who bought a lot of blood, you'll be duly rewarded for it. But what we didn't leave, but you will not have 100% of that, because we didn't really leave any room for the collective itself to have a treasury. So we're adding the treasury in. But yeah, it will not be yeah, as Kellen says, blood is cheap right now. It's a good time to go buy some blood in the
For
beta.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just dropped in the chat, like, if you're a newbie, we've got a form there. Again, I'll be compiling. I'll basically put this AMA and a bunch of like the links and, the credit card number and all the stuff that you guys need to get going, just like in a post directly after this AMA. And yeah, I guess, like, in terms of like primary CTAs, like if you're like an existing collective member, the idea for this kind of first phase, right, Peter, is to like sign in, explore, like poke around the site, explore that new FAQ, go through your collective, and I guess like decide which personas, right, that you want to put up for auction, right? Like we talked about this yesterday, but like this will be really important for like new players, right? Is like, because they're gonna need to buy in to the game,
Yeah.
correct? So those are the CTAs, and I guess the CTA for new players is kind of similar. Sign in, get familiar with the experience, and you're probably going to want to put in a bid for a persona ASAP if you're new, right? Like, you want to be able to join the collective and have something that, like, some sort of asset that you can start playing around with in terms of like infusion and leveling up and all of that stuff, right? Any other CTAs for folks, either new or existing kind of collective members?
I think those of you who've like leaned in on the narrative side would love for you to start putting some narrative in, and we'll see. My guess is that we're gonna find that you guys have a lot of features you want there. And so, like, is this about the people, or is it about the hivers? Is it about the personas? Is it about the stories and the connections of them? how can the site boost your collaborative storytelling is like a big thing I really care about. I will say, yeah, so that those are all calls to action for sure. Please do that, and we'll figure out. I'd really like to have it's set up so that you can like get notified when you're mentioned, like find out what's happening with your personas. And we will probably add server driven events for personas, like things are going to happen in Hive City to your folks as well. So this is all kind of like where I'm reaching for, but we needed this infrastructure in place first. So yeah.
Yeah, Killen's asking like VAT's not active yet, right? And so I think it's important. I feel like it's key to kind of like reiterate this is like we're kind of going to be doing the playtest in 2 phases, right? Like this phase 1 is more like the way that I'm thinking of it, Peter, is like it's like onboarding mode. It's like get familiar with the site. Like it's going to be relatively chill. You're just going to be like bidding on other people, like bidding against other people and stuff. The VATs and penny auctions and more of that PvP mode, that's probably going to roll out like in a second phase that we were talking about kicking off like early next week, like Monday. And the idea would be like, we're going to bring Peter on again for another one of these AMAs where he can kind of walk you through that in more detail. So yeah.
Sleep up this weekend is the only advice I can give you. I made these. I knew what every photo looked like pretty much. And I still found myself waking up in the middle of the night to bid on them in the last round. It was grim. I think I saw a question from Toon asked like, what's this ETH number on the top collectivists list? That is the sum of the infusion of all your personas. So
yeah, and guys, as a caveat too, in terms of like asking for support and millions of questions, direct those questions to Peter and Jess themselves because I am just as new to this experience as y'all are. So I'm going to be learning alongside with you. Obviously, like I'll be posting a lot of like the links and all the stuff that you guys need to get started. But I think in general, it's just kind of like I'm going to be learning alongside you guys and playing alongside you guys. So we're definitely all in this together.
And for me, the best place to do this is in that GitHub. Just if it's an issue, comment, question, idea, whatever, throw it in there. We've got a public record of it. And then like I'm not super good at synchronous messaging, so that'll help me. Will you reshare and load up the collectivist for a second? I just want to
sure.
Complain about something.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right screen. There we go. Yeah. All right.
Go to others.
Others.
And scroll down until you see Rice Man.
Where are you, Rice Man?
Keep going. You'll see he's got a bunch of red. Not 7-Eleven or whatever. Keep going.
Looking for red.
No, keep going. Actually, do you know what? Go to. There's another way to get there. Go to registry.
Yeah. Search.
And click 0.
Oh.
Just persona 0 is his.
Oh, cool.
Okay, and then click Rice Man on the collector button up top there.
Awesome.
Okay, look at this. Just scroll down. It is a sea of blood.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah.
Oh, I did want to say one more thing about harvesting, which you guys should experiment with, despite a shame indeed. Oh my God, look at that. He just had no money, so he did it his way. But I was pleased to see he didn't get a lot of infusion out of it. So we do have a harvest mechanic, and I love teasing people into killing them. Like I hate it. I mean, like, I actually don't. I won't say we've deleted the images for those, but like it's a commitment that they'll never be looked at. So like I don't know what these people look like. There's probably a lot of really good portraits that Rice Man has denied the world. I have my feelings about it, but a way to get infusion without spending money is to harvest. And when you harvest one of your personas, 1/3 of their infusion will settle randomly on one of the other personas in your collective. They were nearby and the life force kind of flowed into them. And we'll show that on the journal entries too. So this is a way to
we did demo a harvest here, or
yeah, go do it. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, let me demo a harvest. let's see. I don't want to harvest Paul Rudd, so I'll harvest her, I guess. Actually, no, she's so
Oh,
expensive.
that's a lot of infusion. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, don't you want to have Paul Rudd fully infused? Isn't this your
That's
dream?
true. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So
So,
go to manage.
all right, we're gonna manage. Harvest.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Farewell.
Oh
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 no!
no. Oh, I have a logic error in the smart contract. It might only it's interesting. Uh, I think if you, okay, cancel that, obviously. And I'll have to look at that. Okay, it should work. It probably didn't work because we've unlocked some representations, maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, it won't. That's like a blockchain error.
Yeah. I
We
mean,
may
I could
have
try
to
with a different one.
do another round of testing here.
Mm.
Try a
If you
different
come
one.
into a report like that, let us know. Take a screenshot. Send it to
Yeah.
Peter. All right, let's see if we can harvest her. All right, goodbye, philodendron. Nope. Yeah, same
No,
error.
that's truly terrible. Well, the smart
This is
contract
why
is
it's
like
a
really bad
playtest.
because we got to reset everything. But I'll so you may see your whole collections reset in the middle of this playtest if we see what's up with that.
Okay.
That is very surprising. I harvested plenty in test. Okay, all right. Well, we'll figure that out. Thank you for doing that live. That's great.
Yeah, of course. Jess is asking, yeah, have we talked about purification at all? Do we want to go over that before we hop off?
Yeah. So in BetaNet, you can purify by paying double, paying double the infusion basically to get them purified. It's a status, and it's a status. We don't surface this very well, but there are like two kinds of information about your personas. There's stuff on the chain, and then there's stuff on the server. And purification, name, their stats, their what representation they are, is all stuff that is on the chain. Now, why have anything on the chain at all? I wanted to create a way for other on-chain experience makers to tap personas. So like it's perfectly possible you could make an experience or whatever that only allows personas of charisma 19 or more. And you don't have to do anything with us on the server. That's all on the chain. Purification is one of those things. And I think originally conceptually I was like, maybe it's like and I still in my mind is like this. It's like there's a part of Hive City that's like paid off their blood guilt, essentially. Like you've done enough. You're considered to have like moved out of the muck of the shitty bottom of society that's like on the back of like people who've been murdered in the streets, and you're like you can now go to the Senate basically. And this idea now, and so like, and I like the idea, like like if you go to the registry and sort by infusion, and we'll see some of alchemists here. Go the other way, yep, and they go down, yep. So like I think 1631, 1760, these are heavily infused. I mean, like, I
Mhm.
love the idea of like, making somebody spend like 10,000 more L1 to get them purified. So you could have mob bosses in the streets that are rich, powerful, tons of whatever, but they're not like part of the clean part of society. And that's conceptually what purification is about. Now, what that means in the interface right now is like they glow, and everybody sees that they glow. And I've kind of rethought this. It's a little like the idea of paying again based on infusion amounts felt like not exactly the mechanic I wanted. And so the plan here, and I actually haven't turned it on yet, is once you reach a certain level, you'll be able to set them as purified. And that's kind of how I'm thinking about that right now.
Okay, yeah, that was going to be my next question where I was like, how do I even do that in the UI, like in terms of purifying? But
If you
that's
go to
not,
your collective,
yeah.
and then you click on manage for one of them, uh, on the right side, you'll see under level gated features, purify.
Under level 20. I see.
Yeah.
Got it. Perfect.
That's the plan. Oh, does he really look like Paul Rudd? Hover over that. Go down and hover over the black and white. Yeah, you'll have to see. You'll have to see if you
That
want to
chin
unlock
got
that
a
photo.
little wild.
All right, okay, that's hold on here. Okay, well, that's a lot. Send in those bug reports. I'll see what's what on that smart contract. And thank you for playing my game. As always, I appreciate you guys looking at this sort of experimental thing. And I'll look forward to all your input.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Again, I'll post the recording of the full session in case we had folks that came in the middle, as well as all of the links to how to join, the feedback form, the request form for your 1000 test L1 to start playing. And yeah, then let's just poke around and figure this out together. Should be super fun.
And I'll say I'm not like, the Lamina team is like very careful, thoughtful. Everything should be like really good on the chain side. This is more like me just spewing random shit. So I expect a lot of bugs and I appreciate your efforts. Thank you. So.
All right, guys. Catch you later. See you guys in the feeds.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.